All right, so since we've saved the image, what we want to do now is open Kleki. So I'm actually have my device in tablet form, and I'm just opening Kleki. So it will open exactly where I saved it before. All right, it's got all the layers still there. So I've got my drawing layer, my photo layer, and my background layer. Now, these three things should be in this order, and I need to make sure I select the drawing layer by clicking on it. You'll see a little blue line around it. Now I'm going to go to my brush, and I'm going to make sure I've got the pen, and my size is defaulted at a 4, and I make sure I'm at the solid line type. Now what I need to do is pick a color that's going to be visible. So I'm just scrolling through. You can pick any color really. You want something that's visible over top of the black and white. So I'm just going to grab a blue, and I'm going to start to trace the contour outlines that I see based on the value edges of separation. So I have to just take my stylus, and again, I'm doing the exact same thing that I did before with the transparency, but now I'm just doing in a digital overlap. Okay? So long flowing lines. You notice that the lines are moving, they're flowing. I'm following the creases in the fabric and any area of value, highlight, and shadow. On some of the detailed areas, what I want to do is, since the areas between the teeth have a lot of small, thin areas of lines, what I need to do is I want to go in and I want to adjust the line weight. So to change the line weight where I have more detailed information, all I need to do is just come over to where it says size and just click and drag it down. That gives me a much thinner line weight. So areas that are small or detailed, I have a much more crisp, thin line for that area. In this area here with the teeth, what I want to do is I want to enlarge it as much as possible, and I want to look at the areas around the teeth where the values are created, and I want to trace them. So I've enlarged it a lot, and I'm just really just tracing around that light gray shape there, and I want to look at the areas between the teeth. Common mistakes students make when they're drawing teeth is they make them look too much like rectangles, and they're not. Each tooth has its own individual surface contour, and it's going to have its own individual value based on how the light source is hitting it. So what I'm doing is I'm really just looking at the areas between the teeth where there's any noticeable value or any noticeable shape. Okay, like in between the teeth here, there's a fairly significantly shaped form, and that's the negative space. So take your time going around the teeth so you can find the areas of value in them and not make the teeth look like a picket fence. So the small individual areas, I'm really just looking at edges of separation. Inside the nose, if you look, there's a lot of different areas of value in there. So I'm really changing the line weight and finding all those edges of separation and really taking my time in looking at where the values are created inside the nostril area of the nose. Looking at those solids, looking at the interior and exterior values, as well as any of the details on the inside. Remember some of those areas where you have broken line that help define light to medium edges against highlight edges. I just want to go back and make sure that I finished all areas of value with that idea so I can see when I go to shade, I have every line that I need. Now the next thing I want to do is get ready to save. So if I click on my Layers tab, I look at the photo layer and I click and drag the transparency down to 0. So I just see my line drawing. Take a look at it, make sure that everything is there that looks like it should, and then I can bring it back up and make any adjustments or changes that I need to. I'm going to slide it all the way down, and now I want to save it. So I'm going to overwrite it again. Browser storage, overwrite. And then I'm going to click OK. And then I need to download it so that I can use it on the Graphiter app. So right here where it says save, I'm going to click save. It's going to download it with the date and a Kleki designation in the name. Now I'm just going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to refresh it so I can see it. There's the original drawing photo reference. So all I have to do now is just go to refresh it, and I can find my downloads folder, and there is the title saying today. It's the Kleki, so I'm going to highlight it, and then up at the top here I'm going to rename it. So up in the top, right up top here, you can see rename right next to the delete X. That lets it highlight. I'm still in tablet mode, so I have to click inside the field, and then I'm just going to delete out that title, and I'm going to change it to my name, contour drawing, or something to that effect. But I want my name on that so that when I submit it in Canvas for the grade, I'll know whose it is. Now all I have to do is check it over against the rubric, and I could submit it right to Canvas from my Lenovo device.